This woman was too bold. She grabbed the man's hand and placed it on herself, inviting him to take a walk in the woods. The man's heart pounded wildly as he followed her into the forest. Things between them quickly heated up. But soon, a group of small animals gathered around, watching curiously. Being observed by so many pairs of eyes only excited the man even more. However, the woman suddenly pushed him away. The next moment, a terrible scream echoed through the woods. An old man passing by heard the noise, shook his head with a smile, and sighed, "Young people sure know how to have fun." The woman's name was Jenny. She was the school's most beautiful girl. A flawless face, a stunning figure. That day, Jenny and her best friend went to a bar. The moment she saw the lead singer of the band, she decided she would have him that very night. The singer was also captivated by her beauty, exchanging flirtatious glances with her. But unexpectedly, a fire broke out in the bar. Panic spread everywhere. Jenny's best friend grabbed her hand and ran outside. As soon as they got out, they bumped into the lead singer. Jenny was completely mesmerized by him, insisting on going into the wild with him to fight mosquitoes. No one knew what fate had in store for her. Jenny's best friend felt uneasy about it. After returning home, she called her boyfriend to express her concerns. Suddenly, she heard strange noises coming from her room. She searched everywhere and, when she turned around, Jenny stood there, covered in blood, staring at her with an eerie smile. The best friend was about to speak, but Jenny simply walked over to the fridge, pulled out a raw piece of meat, and started devouring it. Terrified, the best friend reached for her phone to call the police. Jenny grabbed her and pinned her against the wall. But she did not harm her. Instead, she rushed out of the house. The next morning, Jenny appeared again, looking completely normal, as if nothing had happened the night before. Meanwhile, news spread that several students had died in the bar fire. A chubby boy sat alone on the school field, mourning the loss of his classmates. Jenny approached him, and then, the events of the opening scene unfolded. Soon, the police found the chubby boy's body. From the bite marks, they determined he had been mauled by a wild beast. In reality, Jenny was surviving by consuming men, each meal maintaining her breathtaking beauty. After devouring the chubby boy, she bathed in the river, her radiance growing even more dazzling. Admiring her flawless figure, she smiled smugly. She chatted with her best friend on the phone, while holding a lighter to her tongue, letting the flames sizzle her flesh, releasing a tantalizing aroma of roasted meat. Yet in the blink of an eye, her tongue healed, good as new. But when she went too long without feeding, her face grew dull, her energy waned. Luckily, there was never a shortage of young men willing to throw themselves at her. One such boy invited her to play video games one evening. Jenny agreed without hesitation. That night, he drove her to their meeting spot, a dark and eerie place with no streetlights. Inside, candles flickered everywhere. At first, he found the atmosphere a bit romantic. Jenny appeared behind him. The next moment, rats scurried across the floor, adding to the unsettling ambiance, as if a ritual was about to take place. Jenny's pupils suddenly shrank. The boy shuddered in fear. But it was too late to run. His fate was sealed. Meanwhile, Jenny's best friend was driving home, when she spotted something in the rearview mirror. She thought it was an illusion. Until the next second, when terror seized her completely. She spun the car around and sped away, barely making it home. Curling up on the couch, she sobbed in fear. Just as she calmed herself and prepared to sleep, Jenny appeared in her bed. The best friend stared at her, unable to comprehend how she had become even more beautiful. Jenny leaned in to kiss her, but she refused. Jenny didn't mind. Instead, she revealed her secret. That night, the band members had taken her to the woods to sacrifice her to a demon. But because she was not pure, the ritual failed. Instead, the demon possessed her. Now, each time she consumed a man, her beauty and figure improved. The best friend was horrified. She realized that Jenny had been behind all the mysterious deaths. She couldn't accept it. She demanded that Jenny leave immediately. Jenny simply turned and leapt from the second-floor window. Watching in shock, the best friend knew Jenny was no longer human. Determined to stop her, the best friend researched extensively and discovered the demon's only weakness, its heart. The school's annual dance was coming up. She warned her boyfriend not to leave the house, not to attend the party. But he dismissed her concerns as paranoia. He didn't believe in demons. At the dance, she anxiously waited for him. But he never arrived. Jenny had intercepted him on the way. She pretended to want to discuss his girlfriend, luring him to a pool. Without warning, she shoved him in, then followed him into the water. By the time his girlfriend arrived, he was already lifeless. Heartbroken, she vowed revenge. Late at night, she broke into Jenny's house. They fought violently. But she was no match for Jenny. Jenny bit her. Desperate, she tore off the friendship necklace they once shared. Jenny suddenly froze, as if her human side had resurfaced. Taking the chance, her best friend plunged a dagger into her heart. Hearing the commotion, Jenny's mother arrived. The best friend was arrested for murder. But in prison, she began to change. The bite had passed the demon to her. It didn't take long before she mastered its powers. One night, she escaped. She tracked down the men who had originally tried to sacrifice Jenny. And she avenged her.